We're going to do a lot of things today that are going to be a little bit more out of just this linear plane. So you want to have some space, and hopefully you've got that. To do headstand, we want to find a lot of chest opening, some shoulder space, strength. So in your child's pose, when you're extending your arms out, you might decide to play with lots of different things. Like you could always take it right into puppy pose, which would just be a little bit higher in the hips and elongating the arms more in front of you with the head down or the chin down if you feel comfortable doing that. You can also take child's pose, flipping the hands, letting the elbows come down, and then letting the hands come towards the back, which just feels like a really nice wrap of the arm and a stretch for the back line of it. But as always, give yourself some time just to settle into your practice, to get yourself right into the mat, the ground, and your breathing. Finding a little bit more of a circular pathway of thinking. Inhale to exhale, inhale to exhale. Exhale everything out. Take a breath in through your nose. And then try exhaling out of your mouth. Go for that again. Inhale through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. Let's do one more. Inhale. Fill up the entire back space. Let's hold it in. And then big exhale. Wherever you are with your child's pose arms, start to lengthen them out. And if you're not in puppy pose, just reach. And I like to do fingertips with the arms a little straighter. Let the shoulders come up as much as they can. Think about the hips leaning away from your reach. So you're getting this nice long length throughout the spine. Okay, let's come up to tabletop position. So just getting stacked, hands, shoulders, knees, hips. Take an inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. And then exhale, round up and in, push the ground away. Go again, inhale, extend and lengthen. And exhale, round. Inhale. Think navel to spine even with your breath in. And exhale, pull it in even more. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, round. Good, come to a neutral spine. We're gonna take the right arm up to the ceiling, stretch the chest open, and then just thread the needle, right shoulder down. You can take your left arm out. Whatever feels good, just trying to stretch out that side of the arm. Slowly lift up, take that right arm back up. And then we'll switch sides, right arm down, threading the needle with the left arm up, stretch tall. And thread it underneath. Slowly unravel this side. Take that left arm up, stretch it. Nice, bring it down. Walk yourself out all the way to the belly. Your legs can be hips width, they can be together. Try to think about lengthening the front of the legs long. Take an inhale, take your cobra, chest up. And then exhale, lower down. Take your time. You can do this as quickly or slowly as you want. Inhale, lift your chest up. And exhale, lower down. Let's do one more time. Inhale, lift your chest up, pause. Hold this one up. You're going to try to feel the hug of the legs down to the mat. Push the front of the hips down. Spread the collarbones. Lift your hands off the ground. From here, if you want a little bit of leverage, take your hands behind you. Take all 10 fingers together and you can lift the chest from there too. Listen to your breath moving through that front space of the chest for 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower down. Put your hands underneath you. Push up to your knees. Tuck your toes under. Let's take it to down dog. Lift up and back. So just give yourself some time to, like always, move around. Feeling out the space of the calves, the toes, the bottoms of the feet. Bending the knees is, again, such a good tool to leverage the weight out of your hands. Isolate where you're lifting from, the hips. Try to lift the 10 toes and scoop the belly in, and then try letting the head go. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Slowly bend the knees even more. Walk all the way up to your hands. Forward fold at the top of your mat. Hang over your legs. And just shift your weight a little bit. Play with movement. I'm going to suggest grabbing opposite hand, opposite elbow, and letting the ears just fall right there in between. Try to shift the weight as far forward into the toes as you can right before you lift your heels. And then go back into the heels. Try to lift the toes. Do that again. Shift the weight far forward into the toes. And then go back into the heels. One more time. Far forward. And then as far back. Whew. Let your arms go. And let's just slowly bend the knees, roll up to standing. Once your head is stacked on top of your heart, just getting upright, shake it out for a second. We're going to do some arm movements with breathing to help us kind of find this nice movement from the back and from the sides that we'll work towards finding in headstand later. So we'll go through it slow the first time and then maybe try it with a more one breath per gesture approach. So starting with your arms down, you're going to inhale the arms all the way up. Take your hands together. Exhale, draw the arms down. Now pausing there, what you're going to try to avoid from the side is letting this rib cage pop out and excessively back bending with your arms this far back. So if you need to pull your arms more forward to pull the bottom ribs in and then lift up from there, that's what we're going for. So from here, you're going to take another inhale, spread open the elbows, and as your elbows open, only go as far as you aren't, again, splaying the rib cage open in the front. You're going to try to keep this closed and spread the breath along that front chest. Then exhale back in. As you come back in, you're going to try to lift from the sides even more. Take an inhale, lift your arms up. And then exhale, you're going to draw your arms all the way down. Okay, let's try it. Soft knees, strong stance, push the ground away. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, elbows open. Exhale, elbows in and up. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, arms down. And every time you're lifting, allow the whole side body to lift. Actually, I should probably do this with my shirt off so you guys can see it better. Okay, let's go again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, elbows open. Exhale, elbows in and up. Inhale, arms up. Still lifting. Exhale, arms all the way down. Let's do it again. Inhale, arms up. Take the grip. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, elbows open, spread. Exhale, elbows in and up. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms come down. Let's do one more time. Inhale up. Exhale, hands behind you. Inhale, open the arms, spread. Exhale, elbows in and up. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Good, let's just do one more inhale to lift up. On this one, you can exhale, just fold all the way down. Nice, let the head go. Let's take our first half lift. So you're gonna push into the ground, the shins or the thighs, half lift, inhale. And then exhale, hang heavy. Go to plank position. From plank position, we're gonna lower to the forearms. Okay, so once you get here, and this is a nice view because you have kind of see that we're not going super wide in the elbows. We're keeping our hands in line with our elbows, but you could also do 10 fingers together. Just keeping it nice and strong where you're hugged in and not crowding the front of your chest, chest forward. You can also bring your knees down if you need to. We're gonna play with forearm push-ups. So when you're here, you're gonna come forward like you would in plank. You're gonna lower down as much as you can and then press back up. And breathe. Inhale forward, exhale lower, press back up. Let's do 2 more. Pull forward, lower, press back up. And again, pull forward, lower, press back up, and then walk to dolphin. So you're gonna walk your toes towards your elbows as much as you feel comfortable with it. Bend your knees and push back. Breathe. When you're in this one, you can bend your knees just as much as we've been bending in down dog. Think about this wrap happening. Similar feeling as in down dog, except you have actual surface to utilize. You have the elbows hugging down to the ground. You can go a tiny bit wider with your hands if you need to. Try to play with letting the head go. And still try to play with lifting the toes too. See if that's possible. Take one more breath. On your exhale, you're gonna put your hands down one at a time and press it to down dog. And just move around a little bit, shrug the shoulders, bend each side. Nice, you guys. So let's just play with some pretty standard sun A's to get some breath moving, blood flowing, take up some space. You're gonna bend the knees, look forward, walk, step, or jump to your hands. Take your half lift, inhale, and exhale, hang heavy. Stand it up, inhale, stretch tall, and then exhale, fold down. Take your half lift, inhale, exhale, hang, plank position. We'll go through our first chaturanga, halfway or all the way. Take a back bend on your inhale, and you can linger in this one for a little bit. On your exhale, back to down dog when you're ready. Pause with your breath. Find that cyclical quality. Take an inhale, push the ground away. Exhale, walk, step, or jump. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, hang heavy. Inhale, stand up. And exhale, fold it down. Halfway lift. Exhale to plank. You can go right down to chaturanga with that breath or continue on like we did earlier, a little bit more breathing between the transitions. Back to down dog. Pausing again, take a few breaths. It's not about going as fast as you can. It's about really finding your moment within each breath, within each movement you take. Staying present. Inhale, push the ground away. Exhale, bend the knees, walk, step, or jump. Halfway lift. And exhale, hang. Inhale, stand it up. And exhale, fold it down. Halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Vinyasa. Back bend. Back to down dog. Take an inhale, push the ground away. Exhale, look forward, walk, step, or jump, forward fold. Take a halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, tap the fingers behind your heels. And let's come up to a chair pose. So I'm doing more hips width. Gavin's doing legs together. Either is fine. I'm going to suggest let's do our hands to the elbows up here. So think about the armpits still scooping forward and try to pull the elbows back. In this, you may have to back bend a little bit more at the top, but try to resist overdoing it at the bottom. So still scooping from the front without tucking under excessively, and then drawing down in your seat. Use your arms to help you leverage that space up. You can also think about pushing through the elbows too. We're going to take this to half chair. Lengthen over the thigh bones. Imagine the bottom lowest ribs pulling with your elbows drawing forward. Think elbows up. Last breath in. Dive over the legs, hang heavy. Half lift. Exhale, optional Chaturanga Vinyasa. Inhale, back bend. Exhale to down dog. On the bottom of that exhale, step your right foot through. Good, let's take it to our high lunge. Take the arms up again, maybe do the opposite elbow just to switch it up every once in a while. Use this grip not to just rest into the arms, but to lift the whole spine even more. Try to play with the hips a little bit this first one. Swivel that right side back, lift the front of the pelvis up, and then drop down into that front leg. Take a breath in. Exhale, bring the hands down. Step it back, left foot forward. Arms up. Remember, you can still lift the chest a little bit more and find more of an upper chest back bend. Swivel left hip back, soften down into that front heel, and try to relax the throat space. Notice if you're starting to use the head to grip up, and if you need your arms to be more forward, that's totally fine. They don't have to be as far back. Take a big breath in. You're going to exhale, bring the hands down. Chaturanga Vinyasa option. Back bend of the breath in. Back to down dog on your exhale. Take some breath. Inhale, push the ground away. Exhale, walk, step, or jump to the forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, tap back. Inhale, arms up, chair. Good, let's do a different arm. Take your left elbow underneath the right for your eagle wrap, but lift the elbows up. You can also hug and lift up. Now I want to lift the elbows up because we're going to try to work this space along the side to go with it. Now use this grip to lift up the chest, but then still try to sit down more in your legs. Squeeze the lines that you have available to you. Wherever you feel contact, make the connection. Communicate it. I'm going to go a little lower through your torso. It feels good to drop it. Release the arms on this side. Switch them. Right elbow underneath. Lift the elbows up. Low belly scoops, bottom ribs lift. Play with the head's movement, but try to keep the legs strong, anchor them. Shift the weight back, shift the weight forward, play with movement. Almost there. Take a breath in. Exhale, release, fold out of it. Oh, that was hard. Take a half lift, inhale. And exhale, hang heavy. Hands down, feet back. Optional chaturanga vinyasa. Bottom of the breath, step the left foot through. High lunge. Okay, so we're gonna kind of mimic that. Right elbow underneath the left. Pull the elbows up. Draw down into this front heel. Lift the whole front. You can also go more back too, if you're into back bending. Like imagine this circle, the circle going all the way over your drawing. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands down. Step left foot back, right foot forward. Arms up. This side would be left elbow underneath the right if your right leg is forward. Use the arms as an anchor as much as you're using for the legs. Use them to lift and find space in your chest, your upper back. Try not to lose the breath. Lift, 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 lift. And then slowly bring it down. Optional again, chaturanga vinyasa. Back to down dog. Walk it out. Maybe lift a leg, and then lift the other leg. Okay, inhale, push the ground away. Exhale, walk, separate jump to your hands. Take an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, tap back, chair pose. Take your left elbow underneath the right. Take your left leg over the right. We're just going to play with finding a little bit of balance upright. Maybe double wrapping. Try not to just hook and get stuck. Think about climbing down yourself. So you're going to constantly spiral, spiral, spiral. So again, it's everything connects and moves through the energy line of that. You can draw your elbows more down in this variation to lift the chest through the arms. But if you're feeling like this is helping you open something by lifting them up, play with the feet going down and the elbows going up. Nice. Stay with it. Try to keep your right leg in the chair. Step your left foot down. Relax the arms and switch your other elbow underneath. Switch your other leg on top. Whew. It's a balance challenge. Elbows up maybe if you're playing with that length from the side body. Elbows down if it helps you to leverage where your earth is. Almost there. Take another breath. And exhale. Release it all the way down. Forward fold. Before we move on, open up your feet if they aren't already. Take 2 peace fingers to your big toes. Bend your knees as much as you need to get there. And I would suggest doing it regardless. And then try to wiggle your torso down the legs. You can even think armpits into knees. Shift your weight forward. Draw your elbows out, draw your elbows back, and then try to let your head go. Think about your head going between your feet and your butt stacking above you.
from tail to head with a breath. On your exhale, go longer down the legs. Release this grip. Take a half lift. On your exhale, hang heavy again. Now this time you can repeat what we just did, 2 peace fingers, or you're going to take the whole hand like gorilla pose underneath. Same idea, you can bend the elbows out for a little bit of space. Try to work them a little bit more around from the armpits. Squeeze the toes into the wrists. Lean into the front of the hands. Think about your breath filling up the entire shape. When you exhale, elongate even more down your legs. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, pull. Good. Slowly release the hands. Shake it out. Take another half lift inhale. Optional chaturanga vinyasa, so hands down, feet back. When you get to down dog, you're going to step your right leg through. Good, high lunge. Let's do the elbow to elbow. Now draw down into your front heel. Straighten your front leg out, push the ground away. Once your leg is as straight as it will go, pull the front of the belly up, and then bend back into that front leg. Now bend the back knee, bounce. We're going to do what we did this last week. Shift your weight. Tap if you need to. Take the leg up. Keep this grip. Try not to sink into it though. Lift the chest. Take your right ankle bone across. Fold over your front leg. Only go as far as your arms don't start to drop too far in front of your face. Kick through that top foot. Lengthen through the chest. Squeeze at the elbows. Okay, you're going to slowly come back to where you started. And then we're going to step it back. Warrior 2. Open the arms up. Okay. So you might have to adjust your stance a little bit. We're going to play with some arm movements again. So you're going to keep this front arm extending out from the shoulder. We're going to drop the back arm down. From there, you're going to lift the arm directly in front of you. Then the elbow, try to give yourself a high five on the back or a pat on the back. Hold it there. Try to think about letting the armpit to the elbow extend without back bending, so pulling the ribs in. From there, draw the elbow down to the waist. You're going to draw your hand across the shoulder in front of you and use it as a leverage point to look over the left shoulder. See if you get any stretch happening along the back of that arm, but you have to still reach through this front arm. Extend it back out long. Warrior 2 arms. Let's try it again. Go down with your left arm, up over the head. Hand behind the back, lift through the chest. Bring the elbow down to the hip, hand across to the shoulder, look behind you, and then look in front of you, extend it back. Let's do it one more time. Left arm down or back arm over the head. Lift through the chest. Elbow down, elbow across, look over the back shoulder, look over the front shoulder. Straighten your front leg all the way, rotate the toes. You can shorten this stance a little bit so it's not as wide. We're going to take the arms up, grab whatever hand you want. We're going to lift, take a side bend over to the left or the back leg, flip your chest to the floor, and you're going to try to lengthen all the way over. You can go down or directly parallel to the floor, side bend up, and then come all the way up. Go to the same direction. Lengthen to the side. Switch your chest. You may be higher or lower. Go all the way around. Push through your arms. Side bend back out of it. Lengthen up. Switch your hands. Switch sides. Up to the top. Side bend. Flip your chest. Lengthen all the way around. Side bend. All the way up. Do it again. Side bend. Lengthen the chest down. Go all the way around. Side bend, all the way up. Good, now take the arms out, take the hands to the hips, lift your chest, and then fold. Fold all the way down. So from here, you're gonna put your hands down, you can bend your knees. You're gonna play with either trying to get the elbows to the floor in this position, or taking the hands down to the ground. We're not necessarily gonna handstand yet, although sometimes you might see it happen from this position, which we can play with a little later. But try to get the elbows down with as much bend in the knee as you need to, so you can feel the push of the elbows without any actual weight on top of them. Hands together or separate, and you can stay looking at your thumbs or just letting your hips lift up and your head dropping down. So I'm really thinking of pushing my feet down, keeping my knees bent, and lifting my butt up as I push through the elbows. Trying to get this space to move a little bit more along the side of my ribs. You can lean a little bit forward too in this one. Take another breath. Relax what you got. Swivel all the way back to the front of your mat. Take your right leg back. Step your left leg forward. High lunge with your arms up. Push into the hands, squeeze with the hands. Lift the chest, straighten your front leg, give yourself a little bit more leverage. Come to the highest heel of your back foot. Lift the front, sink down into that front leg. Okay, bend the back knee. Let's go for it. Lift up. Maybe one swift gesture, just get the foot up there. Cross it over, shift your weight. Try not to go farther and folding at your hips if you start to feel like you're losing your arms. Shift the weight into the standing heel and push through the top heel. Think about a little bit more lift through the upper chest if you can. Almost like you're going to back bend in the upper spine. Maybe a little bit actually still happening. Okay, lift all the way up to your starting point. Swing that leg back. Open it up to warrior two. Take a break with the arms if you need to. Otherwise, you're going to keep reaching through this front arm. Take your right arm down your back arm, let it swing. You're going to take your arm front of you, over the head. Bend the elbow like patting yourself on the back. Try to scoop the elbow in and close the bottom ribs. Reach to this front arm. Draw your elbow down to the hip and your hand across the shoulder in front of you. Pull on it and push on it. Look behind you. Good, now look forward, extend the arm long. Let's do it again. Drop the arm in front of you and up. Pat the back. Chin up. Elbow to the waist. Hand to the shoulder. Look behind you. Extend it back, look in front of you. Let's do one more. Drop the arm. Reach it up and over. Hand to the back. Elbow down to the waist. Hand across the shoulder. Look behind you. And then take it to the warrior two. Look in front of you. Straighten the front leg. Rotate the toes. Take your arms up and overhead. Grab a wrist. We're going to go, let's go to the left side, or the front this time. So we're going to go over side bend, Flip your chest to the floor. Go at whatever level feels comfortable for your low back. Try to keep the spine long. Side bend up, and then come all the way around. So big circle, up and over. Do it again. Flip the chest. Go at whatever angle feels good. It might be low, it might be high. Side bend by using the opposing foot. Come all the way up. Switch hands, switch sides. Up, no. Flip the chest. Extend, 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 extend. And you're going to come all the way back. Do it again. Side bend. Flip the chest. Go at the height that resonates. Flip. Come all the way back. Take the arms down. Shake them out. Whew. Shrugging the shoulders, hands to hips. We're going to take it flat back down. Wide-legged forward fold. So you can repeat exactly what we did on the last side, right? Bending the knees, elbows down, lifting and pushing, because this just gives you the feeling of what we're going to try to do when we're hugged in and pushing into the ground without a lot of weight there. And this is also, we're kind of working this for headstand, but headstand helps you work your forearm stand, so this gives you a little bit of that too. Use your hands together, use your hands separate. If you want to just chill out, like you're like not really sure you're gonna wanna do a headstand, you can take 2 peace finger grips to the wide-legged fold and bend and lengthen your spine down. You can also just let your head go and drop. You can take the hands behind the back, all 10 fingers, draw them over the head. So lots of options. Give yourself a moment. Gently release your neck. Draw your arms down, relax them wherever they are. And you're going to slowly rotate to face back to the front. Step your foot back to plank. And then chaturanga. Back bend, give yourself that moment. And then bring your knees down and come all the way to your knees. We're going to do a camel pose before we start to play with. I think we're going to, if we have time, we might do one more little shoulder movement and then try to actually play with headstand before we stretch more. So with camel, this is just going to help us get a little bit more out of the chest. The neck movement, you want to try to release it without jamming. So a little bit of lift from the back, but try not to grip the throat. Place the hands on the low spine. Make sure you're not dipping your butt back. Scoop the front. Stretch the front up, chin back, and then start to go for it. Arch the spine. If you are grabbing at the feet, you will lift as much as you can back, and then start to reach back. Thumbs out, fingers in. Head should be able to go no, 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 very gently. Sticking the tongue out is always an option. Slowly lift up. And we'll just take a seat for a moment after that. Sit on the heels or wherever's comfortable. Drop your chin to your chest. Just breathe. Take an inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Move the head a little bit, shrug the shoulders, do what feels good. So we're going to play with a little bit of an exercise that's kind of fun to see how your shoulder's working, and then we'll play with maybe trying to do a little headstand. So if you have a block or something, you could use a ball for this, or a shoe, just something that you can't grip onto, that you can hold flat. You're going to come to a standing position, and you might want some space for this. You're going to try to hold this flat, and just kind of try to pull as best as you can. I can't even explain the directions because it's that complicated, and we're reversed from you, so just do your best. You're going to hold the forearm flat as best you can. You're going to go in a circle, out. Try to go over your head, and your whole torso can move with this. Go around the back, And then as you start to get here, where your shoulder's down, you're gonna flip it and then go out to the side. Now hopefully you didn't drop what you were holding. That's the whole idea. If it's a ball, it's even harder because it can roll off. So then you're gonna reverse it, go underneath and around. And then all the way around the back. And then to there. Let's do it one more time on the right. I'm gonna go around the whole head.
Yeah, you can use a book or something.
You could definitely use a book. You can use a ball. We have tons of those, but I don't want to get the dogs riled up with those. And then go back the other way. It's nice to let the torso move with it. It's going to give you a little bit more range of motion. Okay, switch hands. See if I can even do it this way. I don't know if I've ever really done it as much this way, which is horrible for symmetry. I'm going to go around. You might have one side that just automatically feels different. Good. And then reversing the circle. Whoa! Okay, one more time on this side. Open the door, go around the head, and then around. Good, and then go opposite. Oh, good. Nice, so that just gets all movements of your shoulders going. You can really feel the spots that are just sticky, which doesn't mean you have to push through the spots, it's just an area of understanding. Okay, so let's play with this headstand stuff. So I put us here because of this wall. You may not need a wall. Please be safe with yourself. Rules for headstanding, remember if you've been doing all of this, you really don't have to have your head on the ground during a headstand. So we want to try to push up enough to where it can still be on the ground, but you're not dropping all of the weight into your neck. It's really important. We're not going to jump up into headstand. You're going to slowly walk up. If you're going to do it against a wall so you don't fall backwards, get pretty close to it. And we'll both go towards the wall now, just to have it. I would say start with your hands on the ground like such. So you have the opposite hand grip, like we did this earlier. Then open into a shape of an 11, and then bring your hands to the center and maybe do that 10-finger grip. I always move my pinky finger underneath. If you're a person that ever wants to try doing headstand to forearm stand, I would do less of a grip here and maybe even start to rotate your hands down so you can eventually just lift it back up. So let's come to the knees. And you're going to push yourself in a position that you feel okay to maybe fall back into something, or if you feel safe enough in the middle of the room, do that. We're going to put our hands down and our elbows down. And again, we're going to do opposite hand, opposite elbow, then the 11, then take it to the point, so 10 fingers together. So your elbows are already too wide. You need to bring them in a little bit more. Yeah. And then take that bottom pinky and put it underneath, or in the cup of your hand. Okay, oh, I didn't say this. When you start to put your head down, this is a trick I use. It may not be your spot, but I do thumb to the center of the brow, and then I put the hand all the way down, and then wherever this finger lands is about where that is the spot that my head goes to the ground. It could, again, be more back or more forward, depending on how your neck feels. So from there, once you have your setup, don't put your hands, don't put your head in your hands. You're going to drop your chin to your chest and put your head on the floor. Then from there, you're going to slowly lift the butt, bending your knees, walk your knees towards your chest. 1 foot at a time, slowly start to push off the ground and see if you can come into a tight ball. Maybe one leg lifts, and then maybe the other leg lifts. And if you have the wall there, you can start to play with that. Bending one leg in, and then one leg out. You can also start to push down enough to where your head is not even on the ground. But be very, very careful. And make sure that if you do lift off the ground that you have enough control to bring your head back to the floor. You can kind of see Gavin working there. Breathing. You've done a lot of lifting from the side body with the arms over the head without weight into it. And now that you have weight into your arms, again, just keep coming and going. It's not about holding it forever. Try to sustain it to the point where you have control, and then release it as you feel yourself losing the strength. Let's do it again. Setting yourself up. Higby's trying to destroy us. He's trying to sabotage us. Eventually you'll be able to pike up. And then you can play with your legs. But the base has to be solid. You can always time yourself too, like if you want to bring a timer out and say, I want to try to hold this for 10 seconds. I want to try to hold this for 20, and then you keep going up. Eventually maybe it's a minute, maybe it's 2 minutes. Very cool. How much time do we have? Okay, so from there, you totally keep playing with this. We're going to stretch out a little bit more of our shoulder space and hip space. I think we have enough time. And then we'll slow it down, take a little Shavasana. So let's come to the mat if you're taking that with us. Hey, you come over here.
Okay, can you come lay down here?
Over here.
Come on. Lay down. That's fine. Lay down. Lay down.
Come here, baby, lay down. Baby just wants to be a part of the process. Lay down, all the way down. All the way down. That's a good boy. Okay, so on the belly, let's do our shoulder stretch with the goalposts. You're gonna do arms out to the sides. We're gonna go to the left side first. So if you already know you like this arm bent, bend it up. Look over the right shoulder and then push off onto that side. Take a breath. And then let's switch sides. Come back to the front. You're going to take that other arm out. Look over the shoulder. And then go for it. Normally, you probably shouldn't have a dog underneath your arm like I do, but sometimes the dogs have to win. Does it feel like a stretch? This is one of my favorite shoulder stretches. Take another breath in. Go ahead and come back to the center. Now you can use a wall for this. I'm going to do the wall with this one because we have it here. If you don't though, you're just going to use the air above you, like the air space. So Gavin, let's come against the wall. We're going to do a figure 4 against the wall, which I've talked about before in modifying for pigeon. So if you have a wall, you're simply going to put your butt up against it, flush as you can. Okay. Take your right leg, flex the ankle over above the knee line, so the thigh line, and start to bend the knee and push the legs towards you. Try not to let your butt go up the wall. So you only have to bend as much as you feel like you have that length. This is also nice because the legs are above the heart, so you're getting a little bit of that inversion, that blood flow back down. Helps the heart calm. Let's switch. Take that leg up, the other leg across, push. This side for me is always tighter. Take one more breath. Exhale. So from here, you can take your legs up and just kind of let the wall support you from here if that's feeling really good. You can also come out of this and work into a headstand one more time if you want to practice it once more before we take Shavasana. Essentially use this next minute or so to just find something, minute or two, to find something that resonates with you. So I'm going to practice a headstand at the center of my mat and see if I don't get sabotaged by the dog. Looks like Gavin's going to do plow, which is also a really good option. Lay down, bud. No sabotaging my headstand. Okay, that's good. You stay okay. Wherever you're working, you can keep going for it. Or if you're ready to take Shavasana, start to find your place. So if you're taking Shavasana, legs will come along. But really, you can end in whatever position resonates with you. I have another little short story again today to read. So as usual, if you want to set a timer for yourself now, and you're going to linger in your meditation, do your thing. I'm not going to pull us out of it so that you have the opportunity to really sit with your meditation as long as you like. Before I get started, let's take another collective breath. Exhale everything out. Full inhale through your nose, fill it up. And exhale. If we look at life as a circular path, a line without a beginning or an end, then we can learn to shift or focus away from the final destination at the end of the road and towards the gently curving slope of the absolute present moment. One day, a small boy was playing near the river when he saw an old man with a long beard seated in the sand. The boy moved closer and watched as the old man drew a perfect circle in the sand. "Hey, old man, how did you draw such a perfect circle?" asked the boy. The old man looked at the boy and said, "I don't know, I just tried, and I tried again. Here, you try." The old man handed the stick to the boy and walked away. The boy began drawing circles in the sand. At first, his circles came out too wide or too long or too crooked, but as time went by, the circles began to look better and better. He kept trying, And then one bright morning, he drew a perfect circle in the sand. And then he heard a small voice behind him. Hey, old man, how did you draw such a perfect circle? Exhale everything out. Take your fullest breath in, expand it, lean into it, and then let it go. Namaste.
Namaste.